Okay, let's go ahead and talk about percent. And when it comes to practical mathematics, probably nothing is more important than your ability to solve percent problems. And percent problems come in all sorts of varieties and flavors. And this particular problem is 34 is what percent of 21? So feel free to use your calculator, but the main thing here is do not guess, okay? But if you know how to do this problem, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. Of course, I'm going to go through exactly how to solve this because percent, again, is one of those things that, just think about how many times during the day you see this symbol, okay? You can't go anywhere without seeing the symbol. You're at the store, you see sales, you're looking at the news, they're talking about inflation or interest rates, you look at TV advertisements, this symbol is everywhere. So you want to really master percent. Okay. If you do nothing else in mathematics, make sure you get percent down. It will serve you well for the rest of your life. But before we get going, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TC Math Academy. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher. I've been teaching math for decades, and I'm telling you right now, you can be successful in mathematics. And I'm speaking to all of you out there, especially those that struggle in math. Okay, maybe you're like, I'm bad at math. I've always failed math. Listen, you could do much, much better, but what you need is great math instruction, clear, understandable, and comprehensive. So if you need help in your current math course, or maybe you're preparing for some sort of special test, something that has math on it, like the GED, SAT, ACT, ASVAB, teacher certification exam, something like that, or if you homeschool, check out my math help program. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description of this video. I literally have over 100 plus different math courses that cover all these categories and much, much more. Also, if you need a pair of excellent math notes, you can use mine. I'm going to leave links to my notes in the description of this video. And if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you the solution to this problem now, and then I'm going to walk through a couple different ways you can think about how to solve this problem, right? There's not just one way. And by the way, let me say this. The way I solved this problem could be different than the way you did it because maybe you were taught percent in a different way. As long as you're not guessing and you understand what you did to get the right answer, that's what counts. So let's go ahead and take a look at the answer right now. Okay, so 34 is what percent of 21? The answer is 161.9%. Okay, so if you got that, of course, I'm kind of rounding off. You could have had maybe a few more decimal places, but it would be right around an area of 161.9%. If you got that answer, let me go ahead and give you a nice, lovely little happy face and A plus, a 100%, and a few stars so you can have an extra special day. Nice job. Okay, so good work. It shows me that you have a basic understanding of percent. But let's go ahead and get into how to solve this problem. And there's a couple of different ways we kind of think about it, right? So the first is this. Let's just define percent. Okay, so 34 is what percent? But what is percent? Well, the definition of percent, the kind of technical definition, is a ratio it's basically a ratio of a number compared to 100, or a fraction such that the denominator is 100. So when we compare a number to 100, for example, if I compare 70 to 100, or write the fraction 70 over 100, this 70, if the denominator is 100, is the percent. So 70 over 100 is equivalent to 70%. But another good way to think of percent is some sort of part out of a whole. Okay, so if you got 70 out of 100 on a test, right, you got part of the points on a test that was worth 100. Okay, so the whole test was worth 100 points, but you got part of the points, you got 70. So you got 70 out of 100. So again, you got 70%. So this is a good model as well to think of percent. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to solve this problem. We're going to keep both of these in mind, and I'm actually going to show you another kind of way that we can use some algebra to solve this problem as well. Again, not one different path to get the solution here, but let's go ahead and take a look at how to solve the problem this way. All right, so 34 is what percent of 21? So I'm going to kind of think of this as the part out of the whole type thing, right? Now, but this could be kind of confusing for a lot of people. So what is the part? Well, if I said 70, let's write this problem. 70 is what percent of 100? Okay. 70 is what percent of 100? That question. What is the part? Well, it's clear that 70 is the part and 100 is the whole. But in this case, it looks like the part is larger than the whole. Can we have a situation like that? Absolutely. Okay. This could be confusing, but again, 34 in this case is the part, okay? 34 is what percent of 21? Well, we're going to treat that 34 as the part. So again, this could be kind of confusing. So it's going to be 34 over 21. So 21 here is the whole. So we would kind of use this example. 70 is what percent of 100? We would write the fraction 70 over 100. In this case, we're writing the fraction 34 over 21. All right, and when we do that, 34 divided by 21 using our calculator, we're going to get the decimal 1.619. Of course, there's other decimals here, but we'll just kind of leave it like this, 1.619. So now we have to learn how to write a decimal as a percent. So how do we do that? Well, you effectively multiply the decimal by 100 or move the decimal point over 2 places to the right. So when I take that 1.619, that's my decimal, and I move that decimal point over 2 places to the right, I'm going to get 161.9. Again, that's effectively the same thing as multiplying by 100, and there is the answer. Okay, so that's one approach you could take to solve this problem. And this particular problem, again, is a little bit confusing because we're dealing with a percentage that's larger than 100. Okay, so here, 70 out of 100 is 70%. Here, 34 is 161.9% out of 21, okay, or of 21. So 34 is 161.9% of 21. Again, percents greater than 100 tend to confuse people. But anyways, hopefully this solution is understandable. But let's take a look at another way we could solve this problem. Okay, so one thing you could do is set up a proportion. Now, a proportion in mathematics is two equal fractions. So for example, if I have a fraction 1/2, let's think of another fraction that's the same as 1/2. Let's say 5/10. This fraction is equal to this fraction. We have two equal fractions. And if that's the case, when you have two equal fractions, you can cross multiply. The cross product is equal. So 1 times 10 is 10. And 2 times 5 is 10. 10 is equal to 10. So when you have a proportion, you want to use the cross product to solve them, right? So we could set up a proportion this way. So we know by definition percent is some number, like for example 70 over 100. It's some fraction where the numerator is the percent, okay? So I'm looking for the percent, so I'm looking for this top number. So I'm looking for X percent, all right? But I know the denominator is 100, all right? So if this was 70, this thing right here would be 70%. So you can set up a proportion this way. So this would be one fraction, and then over here would be the part out of the whole. So this is a nice little formula to solve percent problems as well. Okay, so what is the part out of the whole? Well, again, that part is 34. The whole is 21. I'm looking for that percent X right there. Okay, this is the percent if I can solve for it. And then my denominator is 100. All right, so this is what we call like the proportion method to solve percent problems. So here, let's go ahead and just use the cross product. So 21 times X is 21X. 34 times 100 is 3400. Now to solve for X, and just simply divide both sides of the equation by 21. So 3400 divided by 21, we do that in our calculator. We get 161.9%. We don't have to change anything because we just solved for this number right here, X, okay? This is the actual percent. So when you're using proportions to solve percent problems, you got to be very careful that you don't take your answer and then move the decimal point again, because that is in fact the actual percentage. So percent, again, is one of these things that I think a lot of people believe they understand much better than they actually do, because most percent problems, think about it, you're doing things like, 6% of 57, right? What's 6% of 57? Well, most people hopefully know that we have to change this to a decimal. That would be 0.06, and then we multiply that by 57. We get the answer. So in terms of typical percent problems, I would say this is probably one of the most common type of problems people do. But when you're faced with something like this, all right, this can confuse people, especially when we're dealing with percentages larger than 100. And there's even more interesting type of percent problems as well. So let me give you a couple suggestions here on percent if you need additional help with percent. One, I have a ton of videos on percent on my YouTube channel, but if you want a more formal kind of way of learning it, like formal instruction, I'm going to recommend two of my math courses. One, my Math Foundations course and/or my Pre-Algebra course. Matter of fact, I'll also recommend my Algebra 1 course as well. All those courses I have complete full sections on percent. I go over various ways to solve these type of percent problems. But if this particular video helped you out, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.